to build spiritual capacity and relevance that will influence your physical life positively, you need spirits. Yes, you need them. You need to be familiar with the spiritual circle and also make friends with the governing councils of the realms of the spirit. Yes, you need them. And I don't want you to forget this. Listen carefully. The moment a spirit is assigned for good works around you, the dark world assigns a spirit of high capacity, equivalent in power, but the opposite, negative. That's what it is. Equivalent in power, equivalent in wisdom, equivalent in design to stand against you to make sure that you don't fulfill purpose. This is why it is good for you to always be at alert. Check always the guiding angels, the spirit guides, the spirits that are working with you, and update, because sometimes the spirits that you're working with, the upgrade of the dark world might have overpowered them and you do not know, and everybody is just sleeping and things are going wrong in your life. There are men and personalities that are sent into this life, and the realms of darkness know that it's not easy for them to pull this one down due to the mechanism they came with. What do? They use monitoring spirits, mount spirits around this person to find out what exactly this person likes and dislikes. And that's where they capitalize to pull the person down. Believe you me, whoever, prophet, imam, traditionalist, sorcerer, and anything you can call them as their spiritual ranking may be, there is something they lost after, and that is where demons are waiting for them. Yes, that's where demons are waiting for them. Read with understanding Psalm 109, the place where it said, set Satan at their right hand. It means setting demons around the things that the person likes. This is one reason you see a lot of people, mighty, strong, vibrant, terror to the realms of darkness, and all of a sudden you see them go down. Let he that thinketh he stand take heed, lest he fall. How do you think the Bible said that in the first place? Before we continue, if you value what we do and this has blessed you in one way or the other, share this to people, because you don't know who you might be saving from doom and destruction. Yes. We are talking about building spiritual contacts, and the spiritual contacts you build will raise your capacity in the realms of the spirit and also physical. It influences the way you live and the way people perceive you and the way people interact with you. Now, there are people in the realms of the spirit that their capacity and standard is higher than other people. We are all not mates in the realms of the spirit. Something took them to that place. They didn't just get to that place. It's either prices have been paid from their past life coming into this one, or a good has been remembered. By the virtue of time and chance, something happened to them, and the spirit decides to favor them with some certain things. When you meet men like this, don't envy them. Don't feel bad. All what you need to do is to tap into the grace that they carry, the capacity that they carry. As in onye feze is a only meaning when you serve a king, kingship rubs off on you. It is contagious. Build spiritual contact with the spirit of love, spiritual contact with the spirit of peace, spiritual contact with the spirit of breakthrough, spiritual contact with the spirit of health, spiritual contact with the spirit of long life, favor. All these things are spirits, and they are particularly designed. Each one are functioning in their own office. So if one is lacking, it means there's something wrong. Fix your standing with the spirit that operates in that place, and they will find their way back to you. Building relationship from the spiritual out to the physical. That's what we are talking about. A lot of you know how to build physical contacts. Oh, that's the governor, I want to know him. Oh, that's the commissioner, I want to know him. Even to the point of knowing the area boys, you settle. Yes, we do all those things. I do them too. But how well do you know that territory spiritually? Who do you know spiritually about that place? The contacts you have before entering that place, can they sustain your stay there? Spiritual contacts that you've built over time can actually help you to deal with family patterns, human relative enemies, people that want to work against you in a certain place. And just because you are familiar and friendly with the spiritual energy that works in that place, nobody can harm you. This is one thing many of you don't understand, and that's why you have found yourself fighting battles that you're not supposed to fight. Every night you're on your knees dishing out bombs, dishing out bullets, dishing out arrows. All manner of weapons of warfare are coming out from your mouth. These are spirits of God. It's not like they are agents of darkness, or because you don't know them, you can't operate with them, and later on you see things scattered in your life. First, you must understand that spirits are always around you, knocking on the doors of your life, giving you signs. There are prayers I pray 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year. But basically, on my birthday, it's one of my prayer points, because I examine my life and I see the places where there were lapses previous year. And because I have spiritual understanding concerning these things, I decide to change the spirits that work in that department of my life. And what do? I go to the Father in prayers and I say, Lord, this is what I found out. This is what I found out. Maybe the spirit that is working in this place is actually weak. Change them for me. I need a change here. I need a change here. And I think you should do that also. It's going to help you big time. When it is just little things that you're supposed to do, and you're dooming your life and your future. It could be that you started facing some financial issues at some point. The spirit that has to do with the financial providence of your life, to supply you with financial capacity, to supply you with financial opportunities. If they have been overpowered, you will have issues. There will be no way that what you are getting will be enough to sustain you. This is why most of you have leaking pockets. This is why most of you get 10 naira, but your expenses is what? 20 naira. Or even before that 10 naira comes in, expenses has taken it all away. But you are working, and a lot of people are envying the position where you are, that they want to get there. But you that is there know that this money you are getting is not enough for you. You need to change the spirit of the financial capacity that you have. Change them. Go to the Father in prayers. Father, change the spirits that govern the areas that has to do with my finances, my health, business. Even inside your business, you allocate angels and spirits to different places. The one that has to bring customers will be there. The ones that will keep customers will be there. The ones that will bring customers back will be there. The ones that will do this, do that, all in one business will be there. The ones that stand and mount guard. When you hear men, you think it's only men. Spirits, they stand in front of your business place and bring everybody in. You've not seen it. You've not seen people that have the capacity. You've not seen it working for people. Then you're making a mistake. You too can build it. Everything about you is being governed by the supernatural. The spiritual controls the physical. And this is how it works. But this generation doesn't know how to get to the Father. Talk more of getting to these spirits. You think it's all about prayers. This is why I teach about sacrifice most times. I talk to you about sacrifice. Covenants created based on sacrifice. It takes a little bit of time for negotiations to happen in the realms of the spirit, and after that, what happens? You begin to experience differences in those areas. By covenant and sacrifice, you root yourself in the realms of the spirit. You contact spirits. You attract spirits. This is something that the men of the underworld, the spirits of the underworld influence men to do negatively. But you're forgetting that you, as a child of light, that these things are your inheritance, that these levels are places where you are supposed to enter cheapishly. Why? Because you have the mark of the Father. But you reject your first love, and then you enter into the world and wallow in all manner of religion and all that, forgetting the relationship that you had with your Maker. Religion has taken the place of that relationship here on earth, and you see spirits tormenting humans. You don't believe in them, doesn't mean they don't exist, and that doesn't mean they are not functional. Take for instance, when you ask God for money, you don't just wake up and you see money around you. You have to go out to work. You must do something to make sure that money comes. You won't be lazying around and expect God to bring money. It is spirits that are sent out, that the moment you get to your shop as a businessman, people that will buy will come so that you will have money enough to handle the expenses that you need. It is spirits that do it. As if you don't know that most of the people you see today that are better than you, that it's spirits pushing them forward. And it is a spirit that is behind you, pulling you backward. Seek better knowledge, understanding. Spirits are not your enemies. I told you in one of my videos on my other page, as much as you are aware of the light, also be familiar with the dark. You can't deliver somebody when you are not aware of demons. Kings walking on barefoot because you don't understand yourself. And you see servants mount on horses. They enter into places of authority and influence, not because of merit, but because somebody walked the way for them. Don't forget that overtaking is allowed in the realms of the spirit. Let's take for instance that you used to have favor. Everywhere you enter, every attention draws to you, and all of a sudden you don't have that anymore. It means the spirits that are supposed to carry out that assignment are either weak, overpowered. They can't handle your matters at this point anymore, because where you have entered is higher than them. Is it the clothes you used to wear when you were 10 years old that you wear now? Now that you are 20, 30, is it the same size? That's the way it is in the realms of the spirit. At this point, if you have covenant with God, it is within your power and capacity to command realms to obey your voice. Command realms. Most of you that we've done these things for, you don't know what to do with it, and it pains me that you call back to complain that this is not happening, this is not working, this and that. But the people that understand it will call you and they will give you tremendous testimonies. They are there on my followership. They are there. It's just that people don't like talking about most of these things. Covenant is in dimensions. There are some you do with just get money, put it up on the altar. There are some you do with giving to people. There are some you do with going to some kind of places, maybe motherless babies, prison yard, and all those places to affect people's lives. There are some you do, you take up somebody and say, I will make sure that this person leaves that place where they are in the dungeon of destiny and they fly high. I will make sure it happens. Maybe education-wise and all that. You know what I mean? You enter covenant like that. But when it comes to some certain matters about your own self and life, something needs to be slain. Something has to be put upon the altar to create that portal in the realms of the spirit. And you stand upon it and make contact with your Father. In the days of adversity, and you say to God, Father, remember your word based on covenant. You think God will turn his face away from you? My people perish because they lack knowledge. But knowledge is here for you in this generation. So embrace it so that you will stop your own suffering and that your children may not suffer. Now, let me use favor to broaden your mind range. Let's say you are still operating in level 1 of favor. You know, when you go to someone's shop and say, Madam, please, I am hungry, I want to eat, please give me this and that, I'll pay you tomorrow. And the person looks at you and has sympathy and just says, don't worry, take this, don't pay me. I feel your pain, don't pay me. And you say, Madam, this thing you did for me, God bless you, you've really favored me today. That is favor. But it's not the same spirit that governs the place, this level I'm talking about now, that governs the level of favor where somebody is looking for and seeking for a contract of 10 billion, 100 billion. It's not the same spirit. So you are stuck with the spirit of favor in level 1 when you're supposed to be operating in a higher dimension. You left that level long ago, but you didn't call the spirits and open up the portal. Do not forget that most of these spirits, they will never come if you don't call. These are spirits of influence, spirits of high capacity. You think because you know how to pray, you can just access them. You think because you know how to pray, you can just call upon them and then they will come. God gives them instructions, but you need relationship with them. Else they will walk according to the instruction of God and no extras. There's something called relationship. That's why you see some men of God, they come out, they lay their hands upon a person and the person gets healed. Then you think, wow, it's because he's called. Many are called, but few are chosen. A person that is chosen, the sign is that they speak the word into the atmosphere and his voice is recognized and attended to immediately. You know why? Because they don't want anything that will anger this person. They don't want anything that will bring shame to this person. The name the person carries is already a landmark in the realms of the spirit. That's why the more you talk about some certain men of God, the more you see them flourish, because they've built spiritual capacity, spiritual relevance. Whatever the spirit and their contacts hear them utter, they do it immediately. You too can become like that. We have men and women of influence, important personalities in every sphere of life. Contact the spirits that have to do with that place. Create the contact, create the covenant, stand upon it and operate. Call them anytime. Let them know you. Register your voice in the realms of the spirit through prayers, sacrifice, good deeds. There are many things you can do, but start from somewhere. Whatever your spirit accepts to do, start from there. Because the more you ascend, you outgrow some certain levels and you see things moving forward. Have you not noticed that when you move into a new area, it takes some time for you to adapt to the system of operations in that place, the road networks and all that? As you're doing it physically, that's how you are supposed to handle the spiritual. You come into a place, Father, here I come by your spirit. Your word said this, your word said that. You begin to speak into the atmosphere for yourself, that I may find favor in the sight of men and spirits here. That's why most of you travel to far countries. You traveled, but the spirits did not go with you. And the spirits of your father's house are even angry with you that you left without telling them, because you are hiding it. I don't want Mama Emeka to know that I am traveling, else they will poison me or they will spoil my visa. You're still a baby in the realms of the spirit. You did not speak into the atmosphere. There was no authenticity in your word. They didn't value the sentences you made in your prayers, because there is no power, because of the level you still are in the realms of the spirit. Upgrade yourself, and as you're entering that territory, the spirit will say, yes, the spirit in Nigeria told us that so person is coming to our territory. Okay, you, we assign you to this person. See to it to make sure that, he gets his papers and all that, his work permit, his this. All right, so do this for him. And after making these plans and designs in the realms of the spirit, the moment you are entering into that city, Everything you place your hands upon begins to work, because spirits are behind everything. No door is closed against you. You know why? It is spiritual contact. The spirits that are in charge here contacted them over there, and you see things working out for you. Some of you, the spirits of your existence, you have not angered them, some good deeds and all that. Some people have paid some price for you. So in as much as you don't know many things in the realms of the spirit, there are things you have done that you don't even know that these things have added to your mark in the realms of the spirit. And when you enter a place, things work out so easily for you. The lines are falling in pleasant places. Your greatness increases and you are comforted on every side. The day you break the hedge and the serpent will begin to bite, that's when you understand. Because you are ignorant of what was working for you. Are you aware that witches have their network? Yes, witchcraft network. The same witches that operate in Nigeria have contacts in UK, in US, in Saudi Arabia. Language is never a barrier in the realms of the spirit. That's why it seems like somebody in Nigeria goes to the UK or the US, and it seems as if village people, they call it village people. It looks as if those spirits went there with him. No spirit went there with you. They only made a phone call, a contact. They only contacted their contacts there to mercilessly deal with you. And everything you're doing begins to scatter, and you're calling village people. You too can build yourself that you are recognized and known in the realms of the spirit. Many things they've told you to do is against your belief. No problem. You know, Apostle John C. Suleiman said something that you offended the spiritual, and they told you to kill goats, and you say it's against your faith. It is scriptural for you to perform some of those things so that you have your freedom, and you say it's against your faith. And he said, if they tell you to kill goat, don't only kill goat, kill cow. Because most of these things, traditions say no to it, and the scripture said no to it. So you have to abide to the rules. If not, look at you floating all around. I told you from the beginning of this message that this does not have anything to do with your religion. If possible, remove yourself from religion if you want to go far in life. Know God for yourself. Practice the knowledge of God for yourself. Master the things that work and the things that don't work in the realms of the spirit. You don't need too much. Just start from somewhere. Very soon we will introduce to you some materials that will help you. Yes, there are some of these esoteric and ancient scrolls that they took out from the canonical compilations that they made before giving this Bible that we have as the scriptures today. They took those ones out doesn't mean that they are not relevant. You can take these ones around, but if you need some higher knowledge on some certain things, then you can seek for those ones. It might not make sense to you, but it makes sense to me. And it's supposed to make sense to anyone that is of spiritual calling and that is seeking to fulfill their purpose and all that. You need to. My message is not for everybody. It's for people that know what they want from life and spirituality. So I'm not here to please you. We are working on bringing them. I'm not the one that wrote them, but I just want to bring them to your notice. Someone has volunteered to support financially, and we are working on, getting those materials ready. Books like the Book of Enoch and the Book of Jubilee will open you up to the ministry of angels, to know some certain things about spirits and how they operate. Even at the level you are right now, you don't know angels and spirits by name. You can call them by action. I don't know you by name, but I know you by action. You angel that is in charge of fixing things, bring your troop. I need you. I hope you understand that. I don't want this message to be long, but I hope you've learned some certain things. Take time to build spiritual contacts around you by your words, by your service, acknowledge, giving, and all that. Spending time in prayers and all that. In your own way, there are people that pay obeisance pour libation and all that, not because the Spirit comes to lick that drink from the ground. No one eats from the dust, but it's just an act of recognition. We'll talk about that sometime. Build spiritual contacts amongst your ancestors, amongst your spiritual family, amongst your element space. Get to find out where you came from, who you are, what element works for you. Build spiritual contacts with the spirits that govern and operate in that place. Build spiritual contacts with angels. Build spiritual contacts with the Father, with the Spirit of God, with the excellent Spirit of reality, with the 7 spirits of God, with the names of God, with the spirits and actions that are behind the names of God. These are things you need to find out. But we are too lost in religion and some certain things that we don't pay attention to many things that are esoteric that we need to know. Come back. It's not about religion or church or denomination. You can know these things and still go to church, and you become a Superman. I believe I have helped you a little, so may the peace of God be with you as you go out there and be successful. Have a nice day.